All right, now let's move on and take a look at the different question types when it comes time to the IELTS exam. And basically, we have two different types of questions. We have multiple choice questions, and we have fill in the blank questions. Okay. So when it comes to the multiple choice questions, all right, we have three basic question types for the IELTS exam. We have your multiple choice question, we have your fill in the blank question, and we have a map or diagram. But even when you're doing a map or a diagram, it's going to be either fill in the blank or multiple choice. So really, when you look at it, the two basic forms are multiple choice and fill in the blank. And what happens is there are different types. There are about 3 or 4 different types of multiple choice. There are 3 or 4 different types of fill in the blank. And so as we're going through our practice and our examples, we're going to look at how to do those different types so that you can understand how to do well on the exam. All right, now when it comes to the multiple choice questions, in terms of the multiple choice strategy that you're supposed to use, you want to, they're going to remember, like I said earlier in the beginning, they're going to give you, if you're doing section number 2, they're going to give you 30 seconds, 25, 30 seconds to look at questions 1 through 5. And then they're going to play the tape and you answer 1 through 5. So questions 1 through 5 are multiple choice questions. When they give you those 25 or 30 seconds, you want to make sure that you underline the keywords in the questions. Right? I'm at step number 2. Right? You want to underline the keywords in the questions. It's really important that you do that because when you hear those keywords being spoken in the conversation or in the lecture, that's how you're going to be able to tell when the answer is being said. So the first thing you want to do for step number 2, underline the keywords in the questions. Then if you have time, you can go back and underline some of the keywords in the answer choices. All right? Now, step number 4, only pay attention to and listen for the words that you underline. When I say keywords, we're mainly talking about subject, verb, and object. Right? What is the question about? All right? Also, you need to expect that the correct answer will use synonyms. What they say in the conversation or what they say in the lecture, when you look at the possible answer choices, they're going to use synonyms. Okay, that is probably the main trick, or the main, not really a trick or trap, but that's the main challenge they give you with a multiple choice question is the language used to give the answer in the conversation or in the lecture. When you look at the correct possible answer choices, you have to look for synonym language for what was said. That's what makes it difficult. That's what makes it tricky for you. All right. So for multiple choice, you have to be careful with exact language only. A lot of students fall for that trick or trap, right? A lot of times for what they'll do is in an answer choice, say for section A, they'll put in that answer choice an exact word that a student heard. However, other than that exact word, the rest of the language in choice A is wrong. But what a lot of students do is they say, well, I heard them say this word. And so because they said the word business, and I see the word business in choice A, that's the answer I'm going to pick. And that's the wrong thing to do. That is the completely, utterly wrong thing to do, right? So another thing that they'll do in terms of with multiple choice tricks or traps, they might give you multiple possible answer choices, like not really multiple possible answers. There's only going to be one answer, but they'll say all the answers. I guess that's the best way of saying it. Numbers 2 and 3 probably should be combined. They're going to say all the answers. Like you'll hear some of the information in choice A. You'll hear some of the information for choice B, some of the information for choice C. They'll put a lot of exact language in those different answer choices. But really what matters is which of the possible answer choices is the answer to the question being asked. Okay? That's what's important. That's what you have to be able to do. You're going to hear the language for all the possible answer choices. But which one of those is the given information for that question being asked. That's the best way I should probably say that. All right. So here is one type of our multiple choice question. Okay, and like it says, choose two letters, A through E. Which two facilities at the Leisure Club have recently been improved? Right. So which two facilities that you have to pick? You're listening to the conversation or the lecture, and you have to pick which two are being used here. So recently been improved. Recently been improved. So our first step is looking at the question, and we have to say, what's the key language I have to listen for? Well, I have to listen for recently been improved, because they're going to say all the possible answer choices. They're going to talk about the gym. They're going to talk about the tracks. They're going to talk about the indoor pool, the outdoor pool, the training for children. However, you have to listen for which of these possible answer choices, A, B, C, D, E, is connected to the language recently been improved. Now, how are they going to make it tricky for you? Well, they're not going to say the gym has recently been improved. They're going to use synonym language for saying that. So they might be talking in a conversation or a lecture, and they might say, the gym has gotten some new upgrades. Okay. Well, new upgrades is synonym for recently been improved. That means gym is one of the answer choices. Okay? You get it? You have to listen for which answer choice is connected to the keyword language from the question. That's why when I said recognizing the keyword language from the question is so important, that's what I mean by that. You have to be able to recognize that so that you can get these answers correct. It's not just a straightforward listening test. There's strategy and there's tactics that you have to be able to use in order to do a great job. This is more of your standard type of multiple choice question, where they give you a question and they give you three possible answers, A, B, C. All right, so again, the strategy would be, what are the keywords in the question? Like in 21, we're talking about students, of course, but in the design competition, what do they have to do? Right, those are key words. What do you have to do? Have to do for the design competition. Right? Okay. Now, like I said, when they give choices A, B, and C, they're going to talk about the information that's in all the answer choices. But which answer choice is connected to something you have to do for the design competition? Sometimes they'll talk about an answer choice as something that you don't have to do. So you have to be really careful. Okay? And it goes really, really fast. Right after they give the answer for number 21, they're going to jump down to number 22. But your process is, when they give you your time to prepare, first, circle the keywords in each question, right? Circle the keywords in each question. Then you go back and maybe circle some of the keywords in the answer choices. But the keywords in the question are so important because when you hear them, then you'll know that the answer is being said. And then you have to be able to pick which answer choice uses synonym language for what they just said. And this is another type of multiple choice question. When we're looking at this multiple choice question is really like a matching question. Right? It's really like a matching question. If you might notice, actually, if you just have finished the reading course with us, you may have noticed that a lot of these multiple choice questions for the listening look exactly like the multiple choice questions for the reading. This looks like a matching question, right? It's a multiple choice matching question. And what you have to do is all the questions for listening go in order. That's really, really important. If I didn't say that earlier, that needs to be said. All the questions go in order. All the questions go in order. All the questions go in order. It goes in order from question 1 all the way to question number 40. Okay? They'll do number 31, then they'll do number 32. Then they'll do number 33, then they'll do number 34, then they'll do number 35. Alright? It goes in order. So, for this one, when you're doing this type of multiple choice question, when they give you your time, when they give you your 30 seconds, 25 seconds, to look over things. You want to look at all the possibilities in the box, right? Because this is going to go in order. You don't have to worry about them talking about number 33 before number 31. You don't have to worry about that. That's not something you have to concern yourself with or something that you have to worry about. All right? You're going to hear 31, then 32, then 33. Okay? So when they give you your time, look at the possible answer. Look at the possibilities that are in the box. Okay? And because like A is take chances, share their ideas. So when they talk about number 31, like number 31 says, employees whose values match those of their employers are more likely to. Right? So you have to listen for them to say the keyword language in this question. Employees whose values match those of their employers are more likely to. Which one of these things are they connected to? Which one of these things in the box are they connected to? Right? So this can be a really challenging question for the students because also a lot of times when they're giving the information and the answer for number 31, they're going to use synonym language for one of these things, well, for one of the answer choices in the box. Right? You have to be able to recognize synonyms. That's really, really important when you're talking about the IELTS exam. Recognizing synonyms. Okay? So that'll do it for our review of the multiple choice question types for the IELTS listening. All right? Now let's move on and look and talk about the question types for the fill the blank and the strategy for the fill the blank. So I will talk to you soon.